and welcome back to Wrestling Uncensored. Dave Simon with you. Very pleased to be joined by one half of the WWE Tag-Team Champions, the master of the boom drop, SOS. It's Kofi Kingston. Kofi, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, and I appreciate that introduction, man. That was awesome. The master of the boom drop, yes. Indeed.
That's right, Mr. Trouble in Paradise himself. Kofi, WWE Raw coming to Montreal here on Monday night, September 10th. You're one half of the Tag Team Champions. It'll be the last Raw before Night of Champions. What can we expect from you and R-Truth next week? And, who would you like to face going into the pay-per-view?
Well, you know what? The tag team division is certainly heating up right now. I have no idea who we're going to be facing, but I can tell you there's a lot of hungry teams out there. Tyson Kidd, actually Canada's own Tyson Kidd, and Justin Gabriel, who are up-and-coming tag team with a lot of cool moves and whatnot. We definitely like to take them on. I mean, of course, the primetime players, we have no problem setting them up in front of everybody, Primo and Epico. So the Usos, even, we haven't really had a chance to tangle with those guys. So we're willing to take on all comers, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, no doubt. Looking forward to seeing who you guys will face off against at Night of Champions. You took on Darren Young and Titus ONeil, the primetime players at SummerSlam, retaining the titles. I understand you actually wrestled Darren Young before ever getting signed to the WWE. Was it cool seeing a guy like that now, some years later, for a title at SummerSlam?
Yeah, man, it was actually pretty cool. I mean, you talked about, full circle, and that's exactly what it was. Actually, the tryout that I had to get my WWE contract, I actually had, an exhibition match with Darren Young. So, fast forward, 6-7 years later, there we are at SummerSlam, having a match. It was definitely a cool experience. So, yeah, man, definitely pretty cool.
And how do you think they've reacted, and how did you react after they lost their manager through some, let's say, unfortunate circumstances?
Sure, yeah. Actually, I think they're doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Those two guys will be just fine. They're both very entertaining and energetic. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a lot of people have managers for the sake of having a mouthpiece for the team, and they don't really need that. If anyone who's been watching knows that Darren and Titus talk a lot of trash, you know what I'm saying? So they're going to be just fine. They'll land on their feet, and I don't think it's really going to affect them too much.
Yeah, you definitely saw them really get themselves over on NXT and then moving up to SmackDown. I think they've done a fantastic job. You're teaming now with R-Truth. You were Tag Team Champions before with Evan Bourne. Bourne now, I understand, he's out due to an injury. What do you expect to happen when Evan Bourne does come back? Would you want to go back and team with Evan Bourne? Are you comfortable now with R-Truth? What do you see in the next few months for you as far as that goes?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, like you said, Evan's been kind of fighting. He broke his foot, and, he's working his way back slowly. Right now, me and Truth are just trying to be the best tag team champions possible, and keep the tag team division alive. Our whole goal was to basically, resurge the tag team division. You know what I'm saying? Recharge it, because for a while you had a bunch of teams who weren't really doing anything. So me and Truth get together, and we're very explosive and exciting pair to watch. So that's kind of the goal right now. I guess once Evan comes back, we'll have to cross the bridge when it comes. I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So for me to speculate on what's going to happen, 3 or 4 months down the line, would be foolish. So we'll all have to wait and see. We'll find out together.
When Evan and you were tag team champions the first time around, he got suspended while you two were still tag team champions. Was that difficult for you to deal with? How did you react to that?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a speed bump, but at the same time, I think everything kind of happens for a reason, and I wasn't worried about losing my spot or anything like that. It was I knew I was going to be just fine. So it was kind of a little speed bump in what we were trying to do, because I felt that Air Boom was real hot at the time. But at the same time, again, everything happens for a reason, and we'll both land on our feet when it's all said and done.
Yeah, no doubt, and you've definitely landed on your feet. Still one half of the Tag Team Champions, and I think still doing big things over on Raw. and SmackDown. I was kind of wondering one thing about that, and maybe you know what went down. You guys, when you lost the titles to Primo and Epico, it was on a non-televised show. It was on a house show. And then Evan was suspended again and all that. But you then had a rematch with them on Raw. I didn't really understand why you guys didn't drop the titles on Raw and you dropped the titles on a house show. Was that weird? I mean, do you know why that happened?
Well, you never know what's going to happen at a WWE event. You know, you can go to a live event and lose a match, lose a title match. A lot of people don't think that tends to happen. I've actually been the victim of that twice. Actually, when me and Punk were champions, we lost to Miz and Morrison on a house show, too. So it's one of those things where, we always want to keep people guessing and keep people on their toes. You come to a show and at any time, anything can happen, regardless of whether it's televised or not. So I think that's pretty much what it was more all about than, all the speculation. And
just switching gears here, Kofi, seeing you recently on YouTube, on WWE.com, and the Superstar Toys, your helmet fascination, where did all that come from, where you have this huge helmet collection?
Man, it's one of those things. I think I always wanted one of the Power Rangers helmets, right? So eventually I got one, and then I was watching Conan the Barbarian, and they had helmets from that movie. And before I knew it, there were like all these other movies and things that actually had like helmets in them. Star Wars, The Rocketeer, Iron Man, and I don't know. It just kind of like it kind of got out of control, as you saw on the YouTube special. I actually had to have that display case custom built and whatnot. So it's just one of those things, that I collect, and I think we all have our, little unique collections and toys. And why I chose helmets, I don't know, but it definitely is getting out of control right about now.
Now you're married, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Now, does your wife ever say, Kofi, maybe this helmet collection's getting out of control? Does she ever step in and say, well, maybe that's enough helmets, man?
Yeah, she actually does. She really, it's funny that you say that because she hates the helmet. And I basically have that whole room in there, that Kofi cave, I kind of keep her out of. That was kind of the agreement when we got the house, that I would get one room to do whatever I wanted in, and that's kind of the room that I get to do that, because I'm not really saying anything else in the house, like the colors of the paint on the wall or the furniture we choose or whatever. So, I guess that's the trade-off. That's marriage, man. That's marriage. It's a beautiful thing. It's a give and take for all the kids out there.
Yeah, but it's paid off for you, right? I heard you on Colt Cabana's podcast. He seemed quite impressed with the decor that your wife set up. So, I mean, it's all good for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me ask you about something else going on YouTube. You're on the Z True Long Island story pretty much every week in a very short part where you're screaming at celery in a car. What's the deal with the celery?
Well, if you've been following, there's a little mini series in that in True Long Island story called "Where's Trent?"
Yeah,
and it's in reference to Trent Beretta, who was actually hurt for a while. He tore his tricep. He's fighting off a tricep injury, but he's still doing stuff. He's working hard to get back, and every week he films a random, just like 3 or 4 minute segment called "Where's Trent?" And I think mine was probably one of the most random ones out there. It involved Trent and a gourd and celery and my car and running away and all that stuff. I can't make it make it seem logical, because it really isn't all that logical. I guess you just have to kind of check it out and see. So yeah, man, just randomness and the things that we do in our spare time.